All right. So today, what we're going to discuss is how to build predictable income through predictable lead generation, and we're going to focus on the lead generation and database models from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, written by Gary Keller, Dave Jenks, and Jay Papazon. If you're not familiar with this book, I encourage you to go out and get familiar with it. It is commonly known as the source to go to build not only build your new business, but to continue to grow your business because it goes through all seven levels of a real estate agent's business growth. All right, so obviously you want to make sure that we are TCPA compliant and we are respecting the do not call list. All right, let's talk a little bit about mindshare. Now, these numbers have changed somewhat. This is from the MREA page 134. This was back in 2002. So in 2002, 76% of sellers spoke with one agent before they made a decision, and 59% of buyers spoke with one agent before they made a decision. Now, 2025 numbers are a little different. In 2025, 80 to 81% of sellers spoke with one agent before they made a decision, and 71% of buyers. So you're seeing a shift. Okay, I'm not really concerned with number two or everyone else because we want to be top of mind, and top of mind means the number one agent that they think of. Now, let's talk a little bit about referrals. 66% of sellers dealt with an agent that was referred to them. So if you think the relationships you're in with your database now don't matter, they absolutely matter. Or if you don't want to call them because you don't want to bother them, you're missing out on 66% of those people that want to deal with an agent that somebody knows, likes, and trusts, right? Um, Online, if you're not a social media person or you don't like tech, if you're one of those few, 36% of sellers find their agents online. So you're missing out on opportunities for business. And if you're worried about AI, 91% of sellers and 88% of buyers use the real estate agent for their transactions in 2025. All right. So people still want to deal with somebody for their uh, most valuable investment. So let's make sure that we're in good relationships. Let's take a look at the lead generation model. I'm going to walk you through this. On the outside rim, you have your general public, those people you haven't met yet. Obvious, right? Those are the general masses. Inside of that group, you have your target group. You haven't met them yet. However, you want to be in business with them, right? Those are areas you might want to farm. Those are certain demographics. If you want to deal with veterans or you want to deal with teachers or healthcare workers, right? Those are specific demographics. If you want to get into estate planning and things of those nature, right? That's your target group. Then you have your Met group. The Met group are people that you've met with, that you've had conversations with, and that you're in somewhat of a relationship. Then you have your allied resources. Those are people that you're in a very strong relationship. I usually look at those as people that pick up the phone or return your call within 24 hours. They're also vendor relationship partners, people that you do business with, whose businesses you support and that you're in alignment. I support your business, you support mine. All right, so if we look into the four laws of lead generation. So first thing, obviously, is you build your database. And there's two ways to do it. You can go out and find a whole bunch of people that you haven't met yet and put them in your database. Or you can go to that 500-pound phone and look into it, and you have a number of people, and that's your database. And you want to make sure you feed it every day. Now, if you're looking for a number on that, typically when we bring new agents in, we always suggest through our Ignite program to go out and have 10 conversations a day. So if you're wondering what the job of real estate is, as a real estate agent is, you're going to go out and you're going to have conversations. Your goal is simple. 10 new conversations a day. At 10 new conversations a day, you're looking at 200 conversations, a month, 2,400 a year. That means that you can add 2,400 people to your database annually. Okay. Remember, you're building a business and you have to both look at the short term and the long term. And when you're looking at prospecting and marketing and when you're looking at lead generation, It is for both the short term and the long term. You want to communicate with it in a systematic way. You want to make sure that you're having conversations and that are pertinent, that not only show that you're the real estate agent of choice, but show that you care about being in the relationship, that show that you're having the conversations and you're listening to what they say, and show that you're going to do one of two things in this relationships: solve a problem or create an opportunity, because that's really what we want to do as agents, isn't it? And then when they raise their hand, you want to service the leads that come your way. Let's take a look at the database model. You have your Mets and you haven't met. And again, your Mets are simple. Those are people that you've met, that you've had conversation with, who you know. Now, with those people, you're going to market to them in a systematic way. You're going to market to them based on the relationship you have. You're going to market to them based on what their needs are and what they tell you through your conversations. Your haven't mets, those are the people that are in your target demographic or your target area, and you're going to prospect. And there's both indirect and direct prospecting that you're going to do. You're going to prospect through this area, through this group, because you want to get into relationships with them. So once you create that list and you start to go ahead and prospect and market to them, one or two things is going to happen. Once you get their information, so let's say through one of your prospecting, you send out a mass email, or you have a QR code, and they click on it, and you get their information. Well, the next thing you want to do is you want to put them on an 8x8 conversation. You want to make sure that you, once a week for 8 weeks, you're going to send some sort of strategic and intentional communication out to them, which we'll go over in the next slide or so, to get that face-to-face meeting. And one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to meet with them or you're not. If you don't meet with them, it's not a dead lead. If you don't meet with them, you're going to put them on a 12 direct mail, which means monthly they're going to get something from you. And it could be a market analysis on their neighborhood, but they want to get some sort of mail from you. If you have met with them, and depending on where they are in their real estate journey, you're going to put them on the 33 touch, which is really now a 36 touch. Even more. I see agents doing 60, 72 touches. Some do 100. With the advent of social media now and AI, you can really scale up your interactions with your database, and be very intentional about it, and leverage the technology, and still have time for you to go out there and prospect and service the leads. Now, from your Mets, you're going to get repeat business and referral business. From your haven't met, it's where you get your new business. Seems simple enough. It is simple, but it's not easy because it takes consistency. All right, I'm going to move my screen for a second. So the 8x8, again, this is coming from the MREA book. It has changed somewhat. If you want to sit down and really develop a hyper-specific, customized 8x8 plan, which you're reaching out to your database 8 times in 8 weeks, or reaching out to the people you've met 8 times in 8 weeks, please message me 8x8, and I'll reach out to you, and we can sit down and jump on a Zoom or a call, and we can make this happen. Again, I'm not worried about what jersey you're wearing. I want to see you win. 33, 36, 72, however many touches, at least 36, I would say. That's year-round contact with the people that you've met. And that is a combination of emails. That is a combination of thank you cards, thinking of you. Hey, I came across this post and it made me think of you. Hey, I love that post that you did, congratulating them on things that are happening in their life. With social media, this is much easier right now. And if you're not following everyone you met, go back and make sure you're following everybody in your database on your phone. The telephone calls, I would say call them every quarter. Increase that to 4 touches. And we have something called the DTD2 system, which is do the database times 2, and it allows you to actually get through your database twice. And it breaks down your database into the letters that they're filed under, and it does it in a way so that it pairs the letters up so that you're making the same amount, roughly the same amount of calls based on the frequency of those letters, based on people's names. And it also includes something that you could text to. So if you want a copy of the DTD2, I will be more than happy to send that to you. Just message me DTD2, and I'll just send that right out to you. No questions asked. And if you want to work on the scripting on that, we can do that as well. Again, I'm here to help. 12 direct mail pieces mailed throughout the year. I've seen it be very successful with emails. I've seen it be very successful with marketing analysis on where they're living or where they want to live on a monthly basis. And this turns people who you haven't met into met because it's a great way to have a conversation. All right, let me move my screen again. All right, again, so the triangle, which is the strongest geometrical shape, right? If you want to build that triangle for a successful business, it's leads, listings, and leverage. So if your lead generation program consistently delivers seller listings, you can count on the marketing of those listings to deliver buyer leads. Does that make sense? You know how many agents I speak to that want to work with buyers but don't want to get listings, and they're chasing a lot of buyers around who they don't know how qualified they are, how serious they are, and there's a lot of time that gets wasted. If you generate a listing and you sit there, you're going to have buyers. You're going to have motivated. You're going to be able to get into conversations a lot quicker with these potential clients. So if you look at the grid, it'll show you on average, based on GCI, which is gross commission income, how many listings and how many buyers were contracted, accordingly. Now, if you want to have a conversation and you want to work this out specifically to your market, reach out to me, put in listings, and we'll go down and we'll focus in on what the specifics are for your particular area, because every area has different, average prices and average commissions and things of that. And again, remember, commissions are negotiable, all of them. All right. So now, what do we do? Leads, listing, and leverage. How do we leverage those listings to get more leads? Here's a 14-step marketing plan for your listings. Staging and pricing strategies, right? Where it is placed in the market determines, how many people are going to come through, how many offers, right? How many great conversations you can have to get more listings and more buyer leads. For sale signs, rider signs, directional signs, I've seen a lot of agents include their QR code on their for sale signs and rider signs, making an offer, and in that, an offer to have conversations. And when they do so, they gather their information. Remember, our goal is to collect data, and then it's to communicate with the people behind that data and establish relationships with them. All right, flyers in the house, comment cards, the MLS, obviously, web listings with virtual tours. Put your house in your marketing vehicle, whether it's a calendar, paid Facebook ad, or any kind of Facebook ad or social media. Your open house program, I have a one-pager that I can share with you that'll show you how to market an open house so that you get people through there and it generates leads. If you're interested in working in that, message me open house, and I'll go ahead and I'll send it out to you and we can have a conversation. Email, fax. Now you know how dated this is. Your email campaign, your social media campaign, your text campaign. You want to track showings and collect feedback. Now, here's an important thing, especially when you're dealing in this market now, where you're having to have conversations with sellers about where their house is positioned in the market. No feedback is feedback. So, weekly seller updates, creative marketing ideas that you come up with, all will help turn your listings into leads to grow your business. Now, let's finish up with how this works, the fruit of your labors. You're going to go ahead and you're going to, let's say I'm going to buy in. I understand that I have to have a database. Can we all agree upon that? We need a database. Sales aren't going to fall from the sky, right? It's just not going to happen. So, people you've met, we've already established an 8x8 touch system, 8 touches in 8 weeks, a 36 or more touch system after you've met them. That's going to generate a 12-to-2 ratio of leads to sales. That means that every 12 people that you've met, and you put on this systematic method of communicating with them, it's going to generate 2 sales. The people you haven't met, if you have them on a 12 direct, it's going to generate a 50-to-1 ratio of effort to sales, lead generation to sales. So that's for every 50 people that you do this to, you're going to get 1 sale. So these people you haven't met have importance, in your marketing, in your communication. Now, let's do some math here. And the math is already done for you. If you have 1,920 people in your database and you are communicating to them systematically and you are servicing the leads and you're giving a high level of service once those leads come up, there's 320 sales in there for you. If you don't have anyone in your database and you don't want to bother the people that are in your world, and you want to go out and put new people in there in order to generate the same amount of sales, you need to have 16,000 people in your database. And this is all based on the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So obviously these sales can be scaled back. And if you want to do this based on your numbers, based on what your goal is, send me a message saying database, and we'll go over everything with you. If you want to do a little bit of each, you have some in your database, 960 in your database, and 8,000 that you haven't met, you put them in there. That's going to, again, this is how you net those 320 sales, which we average out to be what you need to be a millionaire real estate agent. And again, I'll share a little secret with you. The word millionaire was put in the books because it sells. However, really what it comes down to is whatever you're willing to do to achieve the success that you want. So if you want to be a millionaire real estate agent and you're willing to do the things, then great, let's go ahead and do it. The models don't change. They just scale accordingly. If you want to just do 6 figures, you want to hit that magical 100,000 that every new agent wants to hit, then great. It's the same system. It's scaled accordingly. So I encourage you, if any of this meant anything to you and you are looking on how do I generate leads, how do I build my business, please message me. I'll be more than happy to spend some time with you on the phone, in Zoom, or in person. Let's work this out, because the more doors you have, the more opportunities it is for my agents as well. In this market, we need to rely on each other more than compete. So let's collaborate and let's win together. Looking forward to seeing you out there.